That's a very interesting question. The informal sector actually presents a huge opportunity for banks in Ghana. We know that there's a huge unbanked population out there. Quite rightly, the banking sector has just about maybe 3 million, 4 million accounts. And maybe probably that translates to about 3 million customers. So obviously there are opportunities out there, and mainly in the informal sector. So how do we attract them? There's been major obstacles, and thankfully we have vehicles now being established, like the XCS data, which is taking up customer information and data and helping to formalize that sector. But banks have been very much interested and have started designing products to service that sector. For example, we are heavily into that sector at the moment. We're a major mass market bank, so naturally we have expertise. We've been in that segment for a very long time. Those are some of the challenges that we face as a bank. So there are interesting propositions, for example, where you can leverage community-based institutions and maybe roll out agency banking. Because on an agent, from an agent's point of view, the agent probably knows his customers. They may be few and live in the community, so you get to know the people better. So the formal banks can probably leverage the network of large, small corner shops to roll out banking products to some of these customers without necessarily having to establish branches in those communities. Banks, generally banks want to lend. I mean, they're in the business to lend and are looking for opportunities. And the fact that we have so many banks now in the system makes it even more interesting, because banks are willing to lend as long as they find bankable opportunities and are able to deliver it efficiently. So I think that the opportunity, the market opportunity is huge, and we can see banks definitely developing products and services to be able to target and reach out to this very important segment. How do we get to maybe under 20% bankable population to maybe 40%, 50% bankable population? It's not easy, but I think there's a combination of what we are doing as banks, investing in technology to be able to service these customers. And of course, from a policy point of view, I know that maybe from the central bank point of view, from a government point of view, they are also driving this to be able to support that change and that financial inclusion strategy. We announced that we were going to rebrand the bank. And it wasn't just going to be a rebranding. There are other components of it. So it's to do with our network redesign. All our branches are going to be redesigned, upgraded to make them look more comfortable when a customer is going to. We just want to improve the customer experience when you get into a branch network. Mind you, we've had this profile for 60 years. So with 60 years now, we want to actually improve it. So in essence, brands undergo changes, and we felt that it was important at this step to give it a facelift. So we're doing that, and but there are other things that actually underpin that, which is basically customer service, because we know that it's one of the huge areas we can make a big impact going forward. So whilst we're rebranding, we are mindful of the fact that there are other work streams that are equally important, or even more important than just rebranding, to bring it all together, and that is the customer service culture change program that we are also undertaking, which is about a 3-year program.